Hey everybody. So, day after the Gardner Webb game, and I got some stuff to talk about. There's been quite a bit going on actually lately. So, I start with the game yesterday. So, we are one thing I'm not going to get into here is the Haynes King situation. I need to make another video on that because that has been quite a buzz about Haynes King. Obviously, he didn't start yesterday, and that is a huge, I guess, talking point lately. And I stirred the pot quite a bit the other day with my video about him. So I will definitely be making a follow up video to that because he was out yesterday. They listed him as having a lower body injury. So he didn't play. Aaron Philo got the start, and Aaron Philo played great, I thought. So, um, Aaron Philo, obviously, we start the game out. We come out and freaking turn the ball over twice on the first two drives, which is crazy because we did the same thing last week, except it was the first three drives. And we won 59-12, I think it was, or something like that, or 59-14. I don't know. But it was a huge blowout against Gardner Webb. At first, it was kind of a little close. They scored first on us because we turned the freaking ball over twice. And, it's like really annoying, but I don't know. That has got to be fixed. It's the biggest freaking problem. That and the penalties have not improved from last week. What the hell? I thought I told you to fix that. I thought I told you right after the Colorado game to not turn the ball over and not commit so many penalties. I could have sworn I said that. And for some reason, the message didn't get through to the staff and the team. So, am I doing something wrong? Am I saying something wrong here? What's going on? Because I could have sworn I said that. And it's not fixed. And it's unacceptable. And if we freaking do that against Clemson next week, we're going to lose. I don't care how bad Clemson looks. I'll be talking about Clemson plenty in the upcoming week. But we definitely can't freaking afford to turn the ball over. I don't care how bad you think they are. We can't afford to turn the ball over 2 or 3 times against them, especially right off the rip. And you're just putting yourself in a hole. And we were even worse on penalties this week. I realize a lot of them were, also committed by the 2s and 3s when we had them in late in the game. But the vast majority of them were committed throughout the game by the 1s and Aaron Philo. So that's not good. It was like 12 penalties for almost 100 yards, which is worse than last week. So, again, we do that against Clemson, we will lose. Absolutely cannot freaking do that. And I don't know. I need that to be cleaned up at once. Don't make me say it again, Georgia Tech. Don't make me say it again. So, other than that, Aaron Philo looked incredible. He was, had the interception, obviously. Second drive, which was bad. And then the third drive, he made a touchdown, making that same kind of throw. He was, on the run, trying to make some throws, honestly, that would get you in trouble against better opponents. But he was able to do that against Gardner Webb and kind of flex on them. The whole game was just really a big flex. We were able to basically run them over and impose our will on them without really much resistance, except there at the beginning. We had a rain delay for a while. Every team in the Southeast had this crazy rain delay, so it was raining quite a bit. I don't know. You can blame the turnovers on that. It was also raining last week against Colorado, but I don't know. What is it supposed to rain next week against Clemson, or is it too early? It's probably too early to tell. They only predict it several days in advance, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that looking forward. I'd like to have a nice dry game for a change, especially because I'm going to be there at the Clemson game. And I definitely want to, looking forward, just try to clean up the things. I feel like we're right there We have the talent. We have the players. Our receivers were looking great. They were making insane catches. Running backs look great. Everybody, we have a great team. We have a freaking exciting, really awesome team, and we are ready to go. I feel like the penalties and turnovers are holding us back. That's the only thing. So we're still unblemished, undefeated, and these penalties going forward, turnovers could be a thing of the past, a relic of the first 2 weeks of football. But we've had 2 games. That's all we're getting. And now we have one of the toughest opponents we're going to face all year. And I don't care what you think about Clemson. We got to lock in to beat them. We got to play our best game to beat them. They're still, extremely talented, and it's going to be tough. I really have no idea. We're still, 1 or 2 score underdogs against them. And I keep talking about the Clemson game. I'm going to obviously preview that game as it comes up. I'm going to be there and everything. But, well, it is what it is. The Gardner-Webb game was a tune-up game, before the Clemson game, which we needed. We needed it. We get Philo some meaningful snaps. He can be much more comfortable. Brent Key said it in his press conference, like, you get the turnovers out of your system. Hopefully that's how it works, right? But it's not like you can never turn it over again after this. You can turn it over again. And I don't know, as far as, going forward, there was no reason to play Haynes King in this game. But going forward, are we going to see both of them like we were last year? I imagine King starts next week, and, this was just a week for him to rest up. But I do anticipate seeing him next week. But as for Gardner-Webb, we got quite a few. Hosley made a good appearance in this game. He was the 1-2 punch with him and Jamal Haynes was very potent. And the defense, they did their job, held them to 12 or whatever it was. So can't complain about that. And the game itself, there's not too much crazy to talk about. We saw Graham Knowles at the end. He on his first collegiate pass throws a touchdown, 85-yard touchdown. So that was an interesting stat to behold. But as for the game itself, there isn't too much crazy to talk about. It's really the stuff surrounding the game. Because you obviously had Clemson struggling with Troy yesterday. There's plenty to talk about. And then there's the Haynes King situation. But those 2 topics are obviously going to be in their own videos. It's too much to put all in one video. So just wanted to talk about the Gardner-Webb thing. It was frustrating, very frustrating at the beginning of the game. I was upset about that. And, I really hope we're done with that now, with the fumbling and the freaking interceptions and everything else. I guess one more thing. We weren't negative in the turn, or were we negative? I think we got 2 turnovers ourselves, or at least 2 yesterday. We had some special teams, exciting things happen on special teams. We had a pick or a kick block. We kick-sixed them. Or we kicked-two'd them, I guess, because it was a PAT. But it got called back because the ref inadvertently blew the whistle during the play. It's like, come on, man. And that apparently makes it to where the play's dead and nothing counts. So everybody was pissed off about that. That was bullshit. Brent Key was pissed off about it. But listen, you can't help what the Zebras do. They're gonna do their own thing. They're part of the field. They're invulnerable to criticism, and no amount of bitching will fix that. You got to control what you can control. And I would like to see him fired up. Maybe other than that, maybe fired up about some of the other penalties we were imposing on ourselves. So that was frustrating. But maybe from last week, I'm trying to think what other problems I had. I do believe we had the correct size jerseys on everybody this week. Even punt return. It was nice and tight and form-fitting on him when we were returning punts. We did freaking drop one. Bailey Stockton dropped the thing. He recovered it, but it's like, God, I don't know what the deal is with our return. Kick return and punt return have just sucked for a couple years now. Like, forget returning for a touchdown or returning for yardage. A lot of the time we struggle to just dang catch it or fair catch it or not get pinned deep in our own freaking territory on the 1 yard line. It just seems like it happens every time. So special teams pisses me off. Like, we shouldn't be having these special teams things. I mean, the special teams play. I mean, on the block kick, they ran over the line, which you don't freaking see on special teams for one line to just run over the other ones like they weren't there and block the kick and run it back for a touchdown. Like, that's crazy. I don't know that I've seen that before. Like FCS teams and all that. Like, you just don't see them freaking get ran over like that. But so that was cool to see. But still the punt return and the kickoff return is inexplicably hard. It's like harder. It's like an uphill battle. It's just harder than it should be, and I'm not stoked on that at all. But we did have the right size jerseys on. And our center was on target with his snaps. There was no snafus with the snaps or anything. Of course, we false started plenty this game, but as far as the center, he wasn't featured like he was heavily last week. So that's a good thing. Anyway, there's plenty to talk about still. We got Clemson coming up. We got the Haynes King thing. I'm gonna be talking about Haynes King soon because that was wild. That was a crazy amount of discussion going on around that situation. So look out for that. But other than that, good win against Gardner Webb. A lot of other teams in the country yesterday struggled with their Group of 5 and even FCS opponents. So it's nice to see us, take care of business. We beat them worse and more convincingly than freaking Georgia beat Austin Peay. So I'd definitely rather be in our boat, even if we did struggle a little bit at the beginning. Maybe you could chalk that up to Aaron Philo getting his first snaps of the year and getting comfortable, getting into the groove. So I don't know, but we better get that shit cleaned up. I'm serious. Or I'm going to freaking complain. So help me, I will complain about it on the internet more. So unless you want to avoid that freaking situation, we better clean up the penalties and turnovers. I'm going to have something to say about it, right? So, anyway, stay tuned for more CDOG discussion about the upcoming events. A lot going on with Georgia Tech football. Obviously, it's very exciting lately and very crazy. A lot going on. So, go Jackets, and I will see y'all soon.